Hi, everybody. Before we get to the passage on pages 107 and 108, lines 11 through 20, I want to give you a brief overview of something that will come up in the very end of that passage called the gerundive. Scary sounding term, but don't be intimidated. It's not very difficult at all if you know what you're looking for. It consists of two pieces. First, you'll have a dative, noun or pronoun. In our book, we'll often see pronouns, things like nobis and mihi and um, um, even a or aes, him or them. Okay. You'll have a dative noun or pronoun followed by a phrase consisting of a verb stem attached to undum plus est. And the way we're going to translate this is the dative noun or pronoun must do the action of that verb. Okay? Here's an example for you. Nobis festinandum est. We must hurry. Okay? Again, we've got our dative pronoun there, nobis. Okay, we're going to translate it as if it were just a nominative subject. Then we've got our verb stem festina with an undum attached and then an est. And the key part of this is we got to get the must in there, even though the Latin word for must isn't in there. It's expressed by this phrase, we must, and then we've got the verb hurry. Okay. Please see page 113, the About the Language section on gerundives for further explanation and some examples. Moving right along to page 107, lines 107, page 107 and spilling on to 108, lines 11 through 20. A couple of things I'll point out to you as we go through here. So Agricola has just heard a reiteration of what Salvius had written to him in the letter, a pack of lies about Cogidubnus, his old friend, and he sits there and thinks about it for a little bit, and finally, greatly disturbed, he says, Quanta perfidia! What great exclamation! This is an exclamatory word. What great perfidia! What great insania! Id quod. We're going to translate that as that which. This is really the singular version of that ea quae we saw up above, the things which. We're going to translate this as that which. He says that which pate fecisti. Remember, please, Agricola here is talking to Salvius in the second person singular, so that's why we've got that isti. And this whole phrase, id quod mihi pate fecisti, is really the direct object of the clause that follows. I can barely wrap my head around what you're telling me, Salvius. And he comes to this conclusion: Insaniuit cogidubnus. Notice cogidubnus is the subject, even though he's last in the sentence. Insaniverunt principes regnentiam. Here's your subject, even though they come last in the sentence. Okay. And then we've got this phrase nos apportet. Okay. This is glossed for you if you care to look ahead to impersonal verbs. And by the way, we're going to see this phrase come up again down here in line 18. You can take a peek at that on page 151, but that's several stages on. For now, you can just use the translation they give you, we must. Okay, but it will be followed by a infinitive. We must cratere. Okay. Notice the comparative tutius. That comes from tutus which means safe. Here it's in the comparative. Okay. It's a little tricky here, so follow along. It is tutius, and then we're going to go right to this phrase pro hostibus habere, and that's glossed for you. To consider eos omnes, to consider eos omnes as enemies. Okay. Nunc mihi necesse est regum. Now he's going to tell Salvius what he's forced to do. He's forced to crush that king whom I have considered, even though that's present tense, it has a feeling of perfect tense, whom I have considered to be, or I've considered as an amico for quinque annos. Okay, a little tricky there. See what you can make of it. Haec locutus, well, P-A-P there. Okay. He, Agricola, turned the say here is almost really not translated. He turned himself literally. Who does he turn to? He turns to the other guy that's standing there, the leg, Solanus. And he tells him what they have to do. And he tells them what they have to do and when they have to do it. Quam celerime. Okay, and here's the gerundive that I alluded to in the uh, grammar section that preceded this discussion. Tibi proficiscendum est. And again, that phrase is glossed for you, but break it down. Dative pronoun, tibi, verb stem proficisce, which means to set out. I've not seen that word before, but it's got undum and the est. So tibi proficiscendum est. Statum, and who do they have to do that with? With duos cohortibus. And they translate cohortibus for you, I believe, just as cohorts. This is basically like we would call a detachment of soldiers. Okay. So critical times here for Agricola. Good luck with this passage. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Tuesday. Please post this into the class notebook by Monday at 6 p.m. Thanks, folks. Bye-bye.